Mic testing, 1 2 1 2. We on live. We on live. Welcome to the Cynthia J Show, holding us women accountable, not excluding the men. Welcome, welcome. We on live today. It's your girl Cynthia J. We're getting ourselves ready so we can prepare for our podcast this evening on the Cynthia J Show. Bear with your sister as she is getting some things together here, trying to get us ready on live on TikTok as well. Welcome again. Welcome again. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share with family members and friends. We're dealing with the topic on the weapons of spiritual warfare. Yes, yes. Welcome, 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 everyone who is up here live on your girl, your co-host Cynthia J Show, holding us women accountable, not excluding the men. We are going to be talking about some amazing things today, and I will be keeping you current up to date on what's been going on across the nations. How has everyone week been? I am so glad to be up here today and to be able to speak with you guys. How is everyone? Today is Thursday. Oh my gosh, it's Thursday already, and we are getting ourselves ready for this weekend. I know some of you guys are just coming from work. You're on the highways, wherever you may be. If you right up over here on the East Coast, you know what it's about if you on that 95 and that 85 bound. So you know what's really going on when it comes to that. But for those who are first timers, again, I am your co-host, your host. I am all of the above. I am your girl, your Cynthia, your birth and doula, your psalmist, your spiritual healer, and so much more. Your girl, Cynthia J. We are up here on the Cynthia J Show, holding us women accountable, not excluding the men, on amazing today's topic that will be dealing with the weapons of spiritual warfare. And I say that because that's going to be something that's going to be real deep today for those who sometimes they know what that's about, but this is going to be a little different when we talk about it today. But before I go into that, I just want to update you guys on some current events that's been going on before we get into that topic today. I know you guys probably had heard already today that the Supreme Court in Oklahoma has basically put aside, dismissed those of the Tulsa family. For those who are unaware of that story, for those who know about the history of our brothers and sisters from the past to the present in Tulsa, for those who know that Tulsa was a major community of Black American people, brothers and sisters in the community who was still open to everyone, no matter where you came from. That area was burnt down, destroyed. Everything was just bamboozled by those of the other ethnic group from the past, and the living survivors of Tulsa who has been putting out their lawsuits has had the court case yesterday. The Supreme Court has made their final decision on trying to say that those surviving loved ones, relatives of the past who did not survive will not be receiving reparation, which I feel. And also, not just what I feel, blessings to those who are chiming in, but also for those who understand, who understand, who understand the feeling of this, know that that is not a good thing. Anyone, just like any other ethnic group or anyone from anywhere else, reparation is needed. The bloodshed that was done, things that were taken, should be repaid, back to those who lost their lives. They didn't ask for nobody to come out there to destroy their community that was based out here to help individuals, to uplift, to encourage, to show. We had a actual Black American community town in Tulsa, Oklahoma that thrived, that had their own banks, that had all of these things. Just like if you go to the Native Americans land, they have their own thing. Yes, yet it was destroyed. by those who ran off alive, by those of a mob of a different background, of Caucasian background descent, went out there and destroyed our brothers and sisters of ancestry's land. And we have been fighting for this even before I was born. It's been fighting for a long time. And a lot of the individuals, the survivals, are over the age of 100. That should tell you something. That should really tell you how important that it's necessary, that they need to cut that check. Reparation is necessary. For those who don't even see it, don't believe it, that's on you. But how is it that those who are grassroots here, born and raised, died and shed blood here, and those who are not from here come from other places and come here? Well, guess what? That part of that is still going to be on today's topic, dealing with the weapons of spiritual warfare. Because what goes on in the spiritual realm is also happening in the physical. Why do we think this stuff is still consistent? What happens in the spiritual realm is happening in the physical realm. We are going through a battle, brothers and sisters. We are going through a battle like never before. So much corruption, so much sneakiness, so much deception, so much manipulation, so many agendas coming from the north, south, east, and west. And yet we are suffering. We are suffering even to the point that our own are fighting against us. Those we even as our own are fighting against us, we still have allies who are also fighting with us, who know and seen and who understands what is going on. So with that being said, let's continue to uplift our brothers and sisters, especially the elders of survivors from Tulsa, because this right here, this matter is no joke, guys. Like I'm still appalled myself. I really am. I'm still appalled, but I'm going to read the article and I'm going to go over this a little bit here before I go dive deeper into the weapons of spiritual warfare. Unto the weapons. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tune in. For those, I thank you for them hearts and the love. Send them out there. Go ahead and share it with some family members as I get ready to get up here and share this with those who are really seeing what's really going on. Like, this is not a game, guys. This is not a game. We need to get out here and let people know, let family members know that we can't just sit up here and just laugh and giggle like nothing is going on. We are battling every day with what is going on out here in society, what's going on across the world. Peace and loves, Kenneth. Thank you guys for tuning in. And, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read the article. Oklahoma Supreme Court dismisses the lawsuit of last Tulsa race massacre survivors seeking reparation. This was yesterday, guys, yesterday. The Oklahoma Supreme Court on Wednesday dismissed a lawsuit by survivors of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre. Y'all hear that? Dampening the hopes of the advocates for a racial justice that the city would make financial amends for one of the worst single acts. Y'all hear that? One of the worst single acts. Single. Y'all hear that? Single. Acts of violence against Black people in the U.S. history that left as many as 300 people. You see how significant that number is? 300 people dead. And once thriving district is smothered in ruins. The history that I learned hearing about Tulsa when I was in college was a powerful thing. It was a powerful thing. The things that I learned about this place, how it was thriving, how people were like having businesses like out of the galore, guys. And this is sad. So let me go ahead and finish reading this. The 9-member court upheld the decision made by the district court judge in Tulsa last year, ruling that the plaintiff grievance about the destruction of the Greenwood district, although legitimate, did not fall within the scopes of states. You hear this? States public nuisance statute. Where are they getting this kind of stuff from? It's like they find anything. The lawmakers. That's why when it comes to the justice system in the United States of America, I always tell people no matter where you come from, it doesn't matter where you reside, even if you stay in your community, in your bubble, and you don't even know what's going outside, because you'd be very amazed. Some people that live in the United States, live in their small town, don't know anything else outside of that. You'd be very amazed how many people I've come across. But they are unaware of the statute of the laws outside of their own county, their own city, their own state laws. And these laws, which what's the point of them really? Because it doesn't benefit to the Black community. And I know some people are gonna be like, okay, well, why are you talking about this on your podcast? Let me share something with you. If we turn around and continue to allow things where there's with this, we're supposed to be living in a country that's fair, right? How can we live in a country that's fair and nobody is splitting it off fair? How? How? I know that's right. You pray for Trump. You know what? I might not like everything Trump did, but one thing I definitely can say when the pandemic hit, for some people, some of the things that was there, it helped. But with that being said, there's no fairness nowhere. Look what's going on right now. I was listening earlier today that they said that Biden is speaking that if it hits a maximum of 25,000 people crossing the border, then that's when they're going to put a restriction on closing the border. But you are letting people, which I'm surprised even cross this border, receive all the funding of hardworking people who have slaved, even down to, and again, I'm not trying to make this about race, but the truth is the truth, and I can't deny it. Brothers and sisters slaved on this land. They was aboriginals. They were already here. So what is going on in the spiritual realm is happening now in the physical. There is a warfare battle going on. So what are the weapons of spiritual warfare? That is a question you should ask yourself. What are the weapons of spiritual warfare? In which way are the weapons of spiritual warfare being worked out? In what ways are the weapons of spiritual warfare helping? Yes. So what does that mean? We deal with weapons of spiritual warfare in so many ways that it's not even funny. We deal with weapons of spiritual warfare right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the survivors still are being ignored for what they had to suffer to see loved ones die and perish in front of them. Or let me rephrase that, unalive themselves and perish in front of them. Their money and information that was held in the bank in the archives of the town halls there destroyed, destroyed, destroyed. And where are they able to find the records for that? All they're able to do is to show by the word of mouth, because that was the thing that we would do back in the days when it came to having information. We made sure that we kept the information of the history circling around by telling the story. So when it comes to a weapon of spiritual warfare, this goes to show you right here. We are dealing with weapons of spiritual warfare from one side, as they would say, good and evil. That's your yin and your yang. I mean, it's coming from all dynamics. So what they're doing is creating these laws. They're creating these laws, but these laws are not even be equal amongst those of all races. It's not. It's obvious. Because then it goes here to say the plaintiff do not point to any physical injury to the property of Greenboro, rendering it inhabitable, that it could be resolved by the way of injunction of other civil remedies. What does some of this mess even have to do with that? Today we hold the relief and not possible under any set of facts that could be established consistent with the plaintiff's allegation. They're trying to say that what happened back in the day was an allegation. And we're still every day dealing with weapons of spiritual warfare from every side, in your homes, in your workplaces, even within yourself. Every day. In the school systems, we're dealing with it. It's not just in the physical. What happening in the spiritual is what's happening in the physical. The weapons are trying to condition your children, but what are we doing on our end to have our spiritual weapons ready? What spiritual weapons do we have? Everybody is, majority of everyone, let me rephrase that, majority of everyone seems to be all over the place. Nothing is consistent. Our children, our household, everyone around us, our community is exposed to things that are destroying us, that's causing division, that's causing people to be unalive, that's causing corruption, that's causing mental disturbance in and outside of the home and the workplace. So many things going on, but this goes to show right here that is some spiritual weapons of warfare going on. So now, to finish this article off, so I can move to the next thing. The suit was an attempt to force the city of Tulsa and others to make recompensation for the destruction of the one thriving black district by a white mob in 1921 on May 31 and June 1. The white mob, including some people, hostilities disputed by authorities, looted and burned the district, which was referred to as the Black Wall Street. This is what we have to do. Stop belittling ourselves. Go outside of the box and search the knowledge. Take that knowledge and teach our children because they are our next generation. Go out here and give that knowledge because that's one of our weapons. When you give the knowledge of this spiritual weapon, it will prepare our brothers and sisters for the warfare spiritually into the physical to know what's going on. So they know how to counteract it. Okay, well, how will they counteract it? Letting these individuals know that we are not naive, that we're not stupid, that we're not dumb, that you can't assault our intelligence. It will give that thrive. It will give that motivation to stand your ground, to stand in your real truth, to know who you are and know your identity. Because your identity is embedded in you to know the truth. And the truth will set you free. The truth is that we continue to see the same thing happening over and over again, and nothing is being done about it. So we're constantly dealing with the other side of a spiritual warfare, battling with our enemies, our adversaries, as they would say. Now it goes on right here to say this, guys. As many as 300 Black Tulsians were killed. Thousands of survivors were forced for a time intermediate camps. Yeah, in intermediate camps. And overseen by the National Guard. Burned bricks and fragments of a church basement are about all the stuff that has survived. Y'all hear that? That's the only thing that survived as of today of more than 30 blocks of historical Black district. There's 2 survivors of the attack. Leslie Benningfield Randall and Viola Fetcher, who are both now over 100 years old. And they sued them in 2020. That goes to tell you, perfect timing, really, because that's the time the pandemic has started. For those who are unaware of it. But with the hope of seeing what their attorney called justice in their lifetime, a third plaintiff named Hughes Van Alice, he died last year at the age of 102. That's grace to live that long, and you have seen the weapons of spiritual warfare on every side. Come on now. He was 102 years old and he just passed away. 102. Survivor of the Tulsa massacre. Survivor of the Tulsa massacre. Let me repeat it again. A survivor of Tulsa massacre. These individuals, elders, seen it with their own eyes, heard the screams with their own ears, seen the stuff spiritually, have been praying day and night for the divine ancestors to speak on their behalf in the spirit realm, battling through spiritual warfare with spiritual weapons because they knew this time would come. They knew somebody was going to speak on their behalf, and they were aware of it. They knew it. And I'm grateful that brothers and sisters of now are standing up. Brothers and sisters of today are staying rooted. Brothers and sisters of coming in the future, our children, they seeing it, they hearing it. And this is what I discuss with my daughter all the time. And even though she may not understand some things, I tell her, I'll say, baby girl, you're not going to like what you're going to hear me say. But the truth is the truth. At the end of the day, your parents desire for you to be free, to know these things, but you also got to know the truth. You also got to know at the end of the day, in spite of, okay, that's your friend, but you don't know what your friend's parents is teaching them. You don't know what their grandparents are teaching them. Because there are some people out here in different cultures and backgrounds. You don't know what is behind closed doors with them and what they say to their children. I have had a couple of friends that I know that I had to go through some things and tell them about their life, tell them about their family background, because they were sharing some stuff with me. And I told them, and I said, you only know what you've grown up to know. And I get it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. I'm not mad at it at all. But what I do know is that you have to realize that what's going on in your family background, they're going to show their true colors eventually. And guess what? They show their true colors eventually. It had to take that for that individual friend of mine and other to see, because they didn't believe it. They didn't believe it. And you try not to make it about that. However, it's about that. No matter if I'm living overseas, if I'm here in the US, wherever I'm at, it comes in different dimensions. It comes in different ways. And every day, if you are overseas, if you're here in the US, you are dealing with the weapons of spiritual warfare. And your weapon that you have to counteract all these other weapons that's trying to stop us from reaching what belongs to us. They can try all day. They can make up all these laws. They can lock you up. They can tell lies on you. They can persecute you. They can put blasphemy on you. They can do any of that. They can steal from you. But one thing they can't take away from you that you have. In the time of this, one weapon that you have that they cannot demolish, that they cannot put out with water, is your faith. They can't. They can't put it out. They cannot put it out. They can try all they want. They can try all they want. They can try it all they want. But one thing, just one, they cannot take your joy. They can try any and everything to distinguish what you have and put it out. But one thing they cannot do is take your joy. They can't. They can't take the faith that you have unless you allow them, unless you let them. And that's what they seen here. Okay, they figured like right here. Oh, we're gonna wait until all the Tulsa victims die out. Nobody gonna do anything about it. But what they don't know, it will never stop. That's why it's important that you have your lineage. That's why you make sure you plant your seeds and have your seeds and educate your seeds, and you continue to do. And they know, I know they listening in. We are aware that they listening in. We are aware. But that should not stop us. So we need to pass the baton to the next person so we can keep this race going. Because there's a race that we have to win, that we got to run. There's a race that we got to run in this spiritual warfare. And our weapons is to stand strong, to pray, to fast, to fight spiritually and physically. Don't let nobody shake your grounds. And this goes to show these elders living past 100 years old did not give up. They always told their story. They still was fighting in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. They knew the secret key. But we got to take that secret key to unlock that mystery door to get through. We got to get through. We can't allow them to continue to just do whatever they want to do and get away whatever they want to get away with. Because if that's the case, we will continue this cycle over and over again. Well, I'm going to hear some people say, well, Cynthia, they've been doing this. It doesn't seem like anything going to move. It don't seem like anything going to ever happen. You know why? Because you just spoke something that just turned around and just shook the ground a little bit. Made people feel like they're stepping on eggshells. Because you don't have no faith. You don't have no root to say, I don't care what you say, that ain't moving me. We have brothers and sisters like warriors that don't let nothing move them. In the physical and in the spiritual realm, nothing moves them. Them ancestors are fighting in the spiritual realm on our behalf. They dispatching angels on every side during this spiritual warfare. Those are our weapons. But now we have to increase it. Now we have to fight and take back what belongs to us. What we have fought so hard. Why do we constantly have to let things be taken away from us when we work hard for it, when we shed blood for it? Okay, well, you're going to hear some people say, well, maybe you did something. Maybe it's karma. Maybe it's Look, we're not the only ones that receive that kind of karma. Others have too. Other groups have too, but they still receive their reparation. They still receive the funding and the finances to go back and give back to those who were massacred, who were brutal. It's crazy. But little do we know, that plays a major part on today's topic. That plays a major part to let you know the weapons of spiritual warfare is no joke. It's not a game, guys. It's not a game. We have to live every day just to survive. And I'm not just talking live physically. I'm talking about living spiritually. We have to keep that mindset focused on living spiritually. Like, seriously. And I give and shout out all the prayers. Blessings. Good seeing you, brother. I shout out and give all the prayers to those who loved ones have lost their lives back then. I thank them for the sacrifices that they left for us and what they continue to show us and why we strive and why we stand for what we do. And I'm grateful for that. But let's continue to lift up those in Tulsa and the family members who are still fighting for the reparation. And while that's on my mind, talking about reparations, for those who are out here on the East Coast, definitely come out to DC this Saturday at 11 a.m. for the reparation rally, the FBA reparation rally by Brother Tariq Nasheed. You're going to see some amazing brothers and sisters. Dr. Ma'at will be there. You will also see Brother Marcel from North Carolina, from the Gullah Geechee. Amazing brother. You also going to see Brother Rizal Islam and other amazing people. And they're going to have some amazing artists to come out there perform. They're going to have their food truck. They're going to have everything. You're going to see other brothers and sisters coming from down south, from Cali, everywhere coming out to Washington, D.C. for this FBA reparation rally. It's going to be at 11 a.m. They're going to have a parking lot there. Make sure you bring your lawn chairs. bring you something to drink so you can stay hydrated. If you want to bring your own food, do so. Bring you whatever it is that you need to show up and show out. Like, seriously, it's a delay between. I'm catching that. Thank you, honey. But anyway, we're going to fix that delay when we get a chance. But definitely make sure that you support. I know what I'm doing. The enemy is trying to stop me. It's going to be a delay. But thank you guys for consistently always supporting me. I've been fighting with this delay for a minute. And I know since I've been doing this podcast and speaking the truth, and it's not just happening to me, it's happening to other brothers and sisters who I've been connecting with, saying they receiving the same issue. They don't want me up here speaking the truth. So, but I'm going to continue to do it on the camera and off the camera. So I'm glad that I'm here to share it with you. But with that being said, for those who definitely are supporting, make sure you go out there and you definitely reach out to the surviving loved ones of Tulsa. Give your regards and the love. Let them know that we're there for them, guys. Like, seriously. But on that note, I also got some more groundbreaking news. It's been some crazy stuff going on. For those who didn't know, last week we had a shootout in the northern VA area. They did catch the young man. It was a 17-year-old boy who shot that 15-year-old boy out here. Again, we are dealing with a lot of, when I'm telling you, a lot of deaths lately. So please, let's make sure we educate our youth. Let's show them some love. Let's let them know that they're not by themselves, because again, even our youth are going through some spiritual warfares right now. So let's make sure that we continue to keep them lifted up in prayer, support them, do what we need to do. But this next thing right here I'll be talking about is dealing with a lawsuit that was filed with a young man back in Texas. For those who are unaware of it, this is the fate of the lawsuit filed by a Black Texas student who was punished over his hairstyle in the hands of the federal judge. This was talked about a few days ago. Again, it's another spiritual warfare that's going on. I'm trying to tell y'all the weapons that they're using against us, but we know how to use the weapons too. For those who are unaware of it, this was one of the things that was discussed, one of the laws that had been being fighting for pertaining to our hair. Our hair, guys. So with that being said, a federal judge did not issue an intermediate ruling on Thursday after hearing a legal argument over whether to dismiss a lawsuit filed by a Black high school student who had allegedly been racially profiled and gender discrimination over months of long punishment pertaining to his school for refusing to change his hairstyle. The young man, who is now 18 years old, Darrell, has not been in regular Houston school for a minute. Yes, I definitely will hit you up for that, brother. I will. I will hit you up right after. Every little bit helps. But anyway, the district has argued that George long hair, which he wears to school, is tied and twisted, his locks, and the top of his head violated, they say, quote unquote, a policy because it falls below his shirt collar. Now, please help me on this one. When have we ever had, for those who are still having issues, you can reach at me also on my TikTok. If you're on my TikTok, you can type in Cynthia J, or you can find me also on Facebook. My live will be linked up on there. And you can also find me on YouTube as well for Restream Live. But anyway, when have we ever had an issue with going to school with your hair? I don't recall that. Please help me, because the only thing I can say is when we were growing up, you made sure you had your hair checked for head bugs, like lice and stuff, but never how long your hair was or anything like that. Maybe unless you're playing a sport, they will recommend you to tie it up just to have it out of your face, especially if you were doing wrestling, basketball, things like that. But now they're up here where it's what an issue. This young man has had his hair up out of his face, out of the way. It looked very appropriate. It was very well groomed. This young man, I applaud him for going out here to go and sue the school on this situation, because he didn't do it by himself, but he had some help. So with that being said, the district has argued that George's long hair, which he wears to school, is tied in twist locks on top of his head. It is stated that he's supposed to have violate the policy because it does not fit to the collar length, eyebrows, or eyelids when let down. The district has said other students with locks comply with the length policy. They probably didn't know no better. Do y'all remember the incident that happened in a young man in the northern area? I believe I might be a little off. I think it was in Michigan, where he was wrestling, and in order to win the wrestling championship, they said that he couldn't participate and play. So, with that being said, he was given the option to either do that or cut his hair. Which one is it? And that's sad. You shouldn't have the option of having to do that. We supposed to live in a country that's free, right? That they say we live in. That they say we live in. A free country. But again, we're dealing with the spiritual weapons of warfare. We're dealing with weapons of spiritual warfare. We're dealing with weapons of spiritual warfare. We're dealing with weapons of spiritual warfare that is turning around and is hurting our generation. And that is one of the reasons why we need to sit up here and fight and fight and fight and fight and fight against these issues that are going on in our community. Seriously. How much more do we need to continue to fight for nonsense? How much more? How much more do we need to deal with the foolishness of people? How much more? This is crazy. But this situation, the young man, after all of this, the young man states, he said, "I'm just happy that we're here. We finally made it. This is another stepping stone we have to cross. It's been a long road and we will just be in this fight," as he said, and as his mother said. The suit alleged that George punishment also violates the Crown Act. For those who are unaware of the Crown Act pertaining to our hair, is a new state law that prohibits race-based hair discrimination. The Crown Act, which took place and took effect in September, which bars employers and schools for penalizing people because of their hair texture or protective hairstyles, including afro braids, locks, twists, and bantu knots, or some people would say bantu knots. So, with that being said, that goes to show right there how important it is for us to self educate ourselves on what is going on, why we are going through this, and why is it not just happening in other places, but why is it happening with us? Think about that. Just think about that. So, with that being said, let's keep in mind of that situation. On other news, here's another weapon of spiritual warfare that's going on in the spiritual realm, that's happening in the physical realm. And this is why we need to consistently use our mouthpiece, use these needs that we have, and uplift our generation and pray for them on a daily basis of what's going on. An unarmed teen cried out for his mom after an off-duty guard fatally shot him 6 times in the back as he ran away from the cops. Do y'all hear this? An off-duty security guard was arrested for killing an unarmed teenager. He is accused of shooting him 6 times in the back, officials said. Aaron Brown Myers, 51, is facing charges of second-degree murder and second-degree assault on June 5th. This happened in June 5th, everyone. For those who just tuning in, I'm Cynthia J on the Cynthia J Show, holding us women accountable, not excluding us men. I'm your birth and doula, your inspirational healer, your psalmist, and much more. But back to this article. This happened June 5th, the incident, which happened in a parking lot of a sporting goods store in Renton, in a city located 10 miles south of Seattle. The teenage victim and 2 of his friends, all 17, were heading into a Big Five store to return a BB gun, according to the copy of the criminal complaint obtained. Police said Myers told them that he saw the boys and believed they were trying to rob the store. So he approached them with his gun, according to the complaint. This is sad. This is sad. So with that being said, Myers indicated that the conduct overwatch at the location as he has seen numerous cries occur in the parking lot in the past. Myers states he also saw 3 individuals walk in front of the park vehicle, Myers noticed that one of the males had a gun, which he believed to be a Glock, is what this man said, a Glock. He also said down by his side, Myers then saw the males put the firearm into his waistband. Myers continued to watch the males walk through the parking lot where he believed they were going to commit a armed robbery at a location. Doesn't state where it seemed like he was going to commit it. Myers said that then he felt that he did not have to call 911 and that he felt he had the duty to act to stop the individuals from hurting someone innocent. Okay. Majority of the time, if it's an officer on duty, officer off duty, if they notice anything suspicious, they don't try to be RoboCop hero. They go ahead and call it in for backup just in case on or off duty. On or off duty. You don't just do things prematurely. You get me? You don't just do things prematurely. We seeing prematurely being done here. The boy immediately put down the BB gun and assured Myers it was not an actual gun while complying with his order, according to the complaint. Myers then proceeded to strike one of the boys and pin him to the ground. Then, moments later, fatally shot another teen, claiming that the boy had attempted to grab the gun. Complaint. Review of the surveillance footage did not match up with Myers' version of the event, according to the complaint. This goes to show that we just have people, anybody being hired, handed a gun, and out here just shooting people. Now this young boy has been shot in the back. This is sad. Now they're saying once all of this occurred, and I'm going to kind of scan past through this. He said the weapon didn't appear to be carrying was a BB gun. He already knew that. It does not show the teenager who was killed reaching for the gun. The footage also showed the teen's final moments when the victim is hit in the ground and called out for his mom. When I read this reminds me of the young man that this happened to last week. This is sad. This is sad. Now this young man is gone, all because of someone else's act of judgment call. A judgment call that should have had the telephone or the cell phone, whatever he had on him, a radio, don't care what it was, should have been picked up, should have called someone, should have dialed 911. He thought he was Superman. I don't know why he thought that. But anyway, again, we are dealing with weapons of spiritual warfare, brothers and sisters. Do you have your spiritual weapons ready? Do you know what type of spiritual weapons you need to have ready? Do you? Do you have them ready? We all should have our spiritual weapons ready. Ready, ready. We should have them ready at all times. Seriously, we should have them ready because this is too much. We can't get comfortable. We can't just continue to go in our vehicles and drive outside every day and expect like nothing is going on and go to work. Well, then you're going to say, well, Cynthia, I mean, we got to live our life. Yes, we have to live our life. But one day, we don't know if that will be us. One day, we don't know if that's going to be our child, our nieces, our nephews, our cousins, whoever it may be. We don't know. So with that being said, it's important. It's important. It's very important. But I'm gonna leave this with this last thing with you. And this one is very funny to me because I actually had a spiritual moment when I saw this one coming. I know you guys probably have been noticing a lot of individuals lately dealing with fraternities and sororities have been falling back with this one right here. And I saw this one. I saw this one last night and I woke up. And I didn't even come across this article yet until today. An outrage erupt as Howard University senior denounced being a Delta Sigma Theta. Yes, I've been seeing this. I've been seeing a lot of denouncing lately on sorority members, not too much on the male side with fraternities, but more with the young ladies, with women like that. On here it said Howard University senior and Spelman College alumnus denounced her connection with Spelman College and Delta Sigma Theta, respectively, because the sorority rules and oath goes against her Christian values. The young lady named Zora Saunders, a student at Howard University, penned a two-page letter denouncing Delta Sigma Theta on her Instagram profile just a few weeks after joining the sorority. Now, she did this after she joined the sorority. I would have believed she would have had asked questions, but then who am I to say? She would have figured that out way before she actually fully did the whole thing. But I'm not mad at her because at least she did it politely. She made sure she had the letters and everything, application, all that done, right? I gotta give her some respect. She was respectful for it. She stated that in the letter, I'm writing this to inform nationals that I'm officially renouncing and deny membership in the organization. Her letter focuses on specific events, from the initiation to the induction to the ceremony to an event chapter meeting, highlighting how they contradicted her Christian values and led her to decide not to be a member. Y'all hear that? I had to make a pledge and swear an oath of alliance, perform a ritual ceremony that involves kneeling or bowing at an altar in order to become a member. Ooh, yeah, that's a little different. Again, we're dealing with weapons of spiritual warfare. Y'all probably like, how is this so? This is a part of it. It's a lot going on. I'm telling you, the agendas are hitting in all dynamic areas. So then she previously mentioned the reason involved idolatry and idolizing, a sin that costs eternal life. Then she quotes a scripture from First Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9 through 10. She said, I have to abide by this conviction that the Holy Spirit has given me. Please be advised, please advise me of the necessary paperwork that has to be filed going forward in order for me to be officially fired from the company. That's what she stated, guys. Saunders' message has received a variety of reactions since it went viral. She received a praise from some of the stickings to her conviction. You didn't do anything improper. One individual commented beneath her post and saying, you are on the right side. I honor you and honor your audacity in the Lord. She also stated this young lady that applaud to her also was once a AKA before and came out in 2015. It's feeling amazing to be free. Many lives will be saved by your obedience, that she wrote. And last but not least, she said, however, on Instagram, users warn her that she might face legal persecution for revealing the sorority ritual, which she said was supposed to be kept private, and voiced disdains from Saunders making public. Now, if it is done like a ritual and a cult, now things have changed. That's all I'm gonna say. Things have changed. Cause back in the day, that was I joined, but not, sorority. I became a part of a sorority. And I still am, but I'm not in that stuff like that at all. Now, I'm not upset with this young lady at all. I'm not, because she's going by what she experienced. I didn't even experience half of that stuff that she experienced. I did not. But again, this is something that was her decision, what she needed to do, and that's what it is. And we have to respect that, especially when she feels that her heart is in the right place and she can feel that her spirit is being convicted. I can't go against that. And I won't go against that, because that means I'm going against the spirit of the Most High. I will not, as long as it's in line. So, with that being said, I will leave us with this last thing and then I'm going to let us go. So, this one got me right here, guys. This going to crack y'all up. So, this father, a dad, he loses it and he kicks in his daughter's door because she had on inappropriate clothing. Now, how many of you actually had to deal with your children having inappropriate clothing on, and they being sneaky? They're leaving the house to be sneaky and then come back home and try to make it seem like they didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. Our children now are doing stuff 10 times worse than we're doing. And guess what? This young lady called the cops on her dad. She wore something on inappropriate. Her father and mother know that they don't approve of that. They probably didn't even buy this outfit for her. And you leaving out of their house dressing inappropriate. He gets on you guys about what you had on inappropriate. You don't listen. You get an attitude and you slamming the doors. Guess what? I don't blame the father. I do not. I do not. And then they turn around and call the police on their dad because he kicked in his door. That's his door, is it not? This is the stuff that we dealing with every day. Every day. Children want to live in the homes with their parents. And I'm not saying be abusive. I'm not saying, you know, treat your children any kind of way. No, that's not what this is. But the weapons of spiritual warfare are being used against us on the adversary side to contradict our household, to try to tell us what we need to do. And our children are being taught in the schools what and how they believe should be done. And then they coming home bringing that home. You have your boundaries. You have your rules of your home, what's in your home. So if your last name is Thomas in the Thomas home, that's what's in the Thomas home. You abide by that. And then in the Thomas home, that means they're teaching you the outside laws to prepare you for life. And also home laws, or I should say boundaries, to prepare you. So if you decide when you move on your own, you can carry them same ones with you. But you're going to get mad at your father for getting on you because you decided to wear some inappropriate clothing, which number one, I applaud the father for kicking in that door because it shows that he's a father that cares. It shows that if he allow you to dress like that out there, then you're causing danger to your home. You're causing danger to your household. You are putting your father already in danger to go out here if something happens to you and then he has to catch a case. Come on now. So with that being said, let us know that we need to re-educate our children. Let them know you don't call the system on your parents for disciplining you and kicking in their own door. It's their door. If he want to kick in his door and he's angry, that's his door to your bedroom. He gonna kick it in. You don't have no privacy. You don't. I remember growing up, they would tell us you don't pay no bills. We pay the bills. We pay for your food. We pay for your clothing. All you got to do is make sure that you do what you're supposed to. Make sure you are doing your homework, going to school on time. Try your best not to hang around the wrong people. They understand you're going to make mistakes, etc., etc., etc. We get it. However, if you are crossing the boundaries of what your parent told you not to do, and you do it anyway, then guess what? He's going to kick in that door. I'm going to tell you now, I thank God for my father. And the same thing I tell my daughter all the time. Be glad you have your father because there's some young girls and some young men who do not have a father figure around to keep them balanced, to keep them in check, to encourage them, to uplift them, to discipline them when they're wrong and to hold them, to teach you how to be held accountable. Because now these days, kids don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be told what to do. They think that you don't know nothing. They know it all. And like today, as I met this amazing woman who was a grandmother, she had amazing testimony. And she was telling and sharing with me her testimony and sharing with me about her family and the things that she had to deal with and the things that she had to deal with, in the spiritual warfare battles and stuff like that here, even in the physical. And she said her granddaughter called her one day just to tell her, thank you, G-Mom. Thank you. I didn't see what you were trying to tell me. I didn't want to listen when you and my mom was trying to say to me. But now I see. She had to wait until she turned 17 for it to click. Because she had to go through something to see it. And that is why it's so important that we take the time to prepare ourselves so that we can prepare our generation ahead of time on the things that's going on. So they can be prepared, so they can be educated, so they can be very aware of the things that are going on around them, who they're around, who they affiliate. You don't need them to go hang out with everybody. This is why I tell my daughter and my spiritual nieces and my nephews, I say to them all the time, you don't know what is out there. Every day you step outside your home, there's war. They like, how is that war? It's war. Every time you step outside, it's war because you don't know what you're encountering. And then you come back home and then you bring outside with you. And then you're going through your own spiritual battles within yourself, your own shadow working you need to work on. And then the next thing you know, bam, this is what it is. Come on, let's get it together. But with that being said, I'm not going to hold you guys up. I thank you guys for joining in today. Make sure y'all continue to hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Check your girl out on YouTube. You'll find all my music on the platform. You can also find me. You can find me if you look on my TikTok or my Facebook and my Instagram. You can see right on. You can look me up if you're looking for a birthing doula and a postpartum doula. Definitely hit up your girl. You can reach out to me, Cynthia J, or my sister Tasha Anderson Perkins. We are birthing doulas. We are there for you. If you know someone who is in the Northern VA, the DMV, for those who don't know what DMV stands for, that stands for Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. We are all up around across. We definitely will come to you if you need us. Just make sure you reach out to us. You will find our information on my bio. So you don't want to miss out on any of that for those who need help, who need assistance. So if you're looking for a birthing doula again, type in Healing Hearts Tailor-Made Doula. Our telephone number is 703-347-3240. Again, 703-347-3240 if you're looking for a birthing doula. If you're also looking for someone to be your herbalist, I'm your girl, your herbalist, your psalmist, your spiritual inspirational healer. I do many things. You can reach me at 571-755-4747. 571-755-4747. You can definitely reach out to me if you're looking for someone to be your psalmist for the evening, for weddings, or anything like that, or for a conference, a herbalist, a healer, and so much more. So don't be ashamed. Go ahead and check out my new single that came out not long ago. I Put My Trust in You, which came out on 4/4/2024. That song is inspiring, to uplift, to encourage. It is one of the songs that driven me since the ascension of my brother last year. Still keep me and my family in prayer. Love you guys. Thank you for always tuning in and sharing your love. Peace, love, and blessings to you.